I see women making the same 5 fat loss mistakes over and over again. And they're the exact reason you feel stuck, frustrated, and like your body just isn't changing. So let's fix that. I want to talk about the fat loss mistakes that I wish I knew years ago, because honestly, they would have saved me so much time, so much frustration, and so much of that horrible feeling of trying really hard and getting nowhere. I think that's the most exhausting part. It's not even just the physical side of it. It's when you feel like you're putting effort in, you're trying to be good, you're eating healthy, you're working out, and yet your body still isn't changing the way that you thought it would. That can be so disheartening, and I know so many women are stuck in that cycle. So in this video, I want to go through 5 of the biggest fat loss mistakes I see women making all the time. Some of them might sound obvious at first, but I think the real issue is that most people don't realize how much these little things are actually slowing them down. And more importantly, I want to tell you how to fix them in a way that actually feels doable. My name's Alex. I help women from all over the world transform their bodies, get leaner, stronger, and less inflamed through an anti-inflammatory diet, healthier lifestyle habits, and workouts anyone can do no matter how busy they are. The first one, and honestly the biggest one, is not tracking properly, or saying you're tracking when you're kind of guessing, eyeballing things, forgetting bits, not weighing portions, not logging little extras, all of that. Now, I know people hate hearing this because calorie tracking can feel annoying at first, but if fat loss is your goal, you need to know what's actually going on. You cannot know whether you're in a calorie deficit if you have no idea how much you're eating. And I think people do this all the time with food in a way they'd never do anywhere else. Like if your bank account was suddenly in the negative, you wouldn't just sit there and intuitively hope it sorted itself out. You'd go and look. You'd check what payments are coming out, what subscriptions you forgot about, what's adding up, because until you see the numbers, you can't fix the problem. And food is exactly the same. So many women are eating in a way they think is healthy, but they've never actually seen the numbers. They don't realize how quickly things like oils, sauces, syrups, bites here and there, all of those little extras add up. And it's not about being obsessive, it's about getting clarity. Because once you can see what's going on, everything starts making more sense. The quicker we can come away from tracking. I've seen this so many times. My clients will tell me they barely eat and they can't understand why they're not losing fat. And then when we actually go through their day properly, it's the bits they're not counting that's making the difference. The syrup on top, the oil in the pan, the handfuls with cooking, the dressing, the latte, the sauces. It's those small things that don't feel like much in the moment, but across the day, they matter. And I know tracking can feel overwhelming at first, but honestly, a few days of proper tracking can teach you more than months of guessing. It gives you data. It shows you where your calories are going. It shows you where your protein is at. It shows you whether you're actually in a deficit or just hoping you are. The second big mistake is not making your calories go further. And this is such an important one because fat loss gets so much easier when you learn how to build meals that are bigger, more satisfying, and more filling for the same amount of calories. A lot of women are technically eating within a calorie deficit sometimes, but the way they're using those calories is making it 10 times harder than it needs to be. They're choosing foods that are really calorie dense, but not actually that filling, and then wonder why they're starving all the time. A really common example is fattier cuts of meat, or using lots of oils, dressings, cheese, creamers in coffees, things like that, without realizing how quickly they eat into your calorie budget. I'm not saying these foods are bad, they're not, but if your goal is fat loss, you want to be a bit more strategic. So for example, if most of your meal calories are already tied up in fatty protein, you've got hardly any room left for volume. You end up with this tiny meal that doesn't really fill you up, and then an hour later, you're rummaging for snacks. Whereas, if you choose a leaner protein, you free up calories to add things that actually make the meal bigger and more satisfying. More veg, more potatoes, more rice, more volume, more sauce, more of the things that make it feel like a proper meal. And that's really the goal, not just to hit calories, but to make your meals work for you. The same goes for little swaps that seem small but add up massively. Grating cheese instead of cutting chunks of it so it spreads further. using Greek yogurt-based sauces instead of mayo-heavy dressings, making your coffee in a way that still tastes nice but doesn't cost you loads of calories every day. None of this is about punishment, it's just about making fat loss easier. The third mistake is focusing too much on calories and not enough on protein. This one is huge because yes, calories matter for fat loss, but protein is what makes that calorie deficit feel manageable. If your meals are low in protein, you're going to be hungrier, your cravings are usually worse, your energy can feel all over the place, and staying on track becomes so much harder than it needs to be. This is especially important at breakfast because if you start the day with a meal that's mainly carbs and barely any protein, it can set you up for a roller coaster all day. You get that blood sugar spike, then the crash, and then suddenly you're craving something sweet, reaching for snacks and feeling hungry again by mid-morning. Whereas if you start the day with a proper high-protein meal, it changes everything. You feel fuller, more stable, less snacky, and it's so much easier to stay in control of your food choices for the rest of the day. And beyond just hunger, protein is also what helps you actually change your body composition, because if your goal is to lose fat, but still look toned and defined, you need enough protein to preserve muscle while you're in a deficit. Otherwise, you can lose weight without really getting that firmer, stronger look you're after. So, if you're someone who's always saying, I'm eating healthy, but I'm starving, I'd look at your protein first. 9 times out of 10, it's way too low. The fourth mistake is cutting out desserts and treats completely. And I think this is where so many of my clients have been going wrong, because they try to be so strict Monday to Friday, telling themselves they're not gonna have anything sweet, they're gonna be super clean, super disciplined, and then by the evening, they're craving everything in their cupboards and fridge. I personally think fat loss is much easier when you stop trying to white knuckle your way through it and actually plan for the things you enjoy. If you know you love something sweet after dinner, but build that into your day, stop acting like you're going to become someone who suddenly doesn't want dessert if that's just not you. That's not realistic. It's much smarter to give yourself something you genuinely enjoy that still fits your goals. That might be a high-protein yogurt bowl, a protein mousse, some fruit, dark chocolate, a healthier brownie recipe, whatever it is for you. The point is, you don't need to cut out every treat to lose fat, you just need to make it work within your calories and choose options that actually leave you feeling satisfied, rather than setting off a full-blown binge. And for a lot of women, just knowing they've got something nice planned for later stops that all-day feeling of deprivation. It makes the process feel more sustainable, and that is exactly what we want. The fifth mistake is only using the scales to measure progress. This one is such a big one because the scales do not tell you the full story. And if you are only relying on that number to decide whether things are working, you can end up feeling like a failure when actually your body is changing really well. I've seen so many women lose inches, look leaner, feel stronger, fit better into their clothes, and yet the scale barely moves. And if they hadn't taken progress photos or measurements, they would have assumed nothing was happening. That's why I always say, if you care about body composition, which most women do, whether they realize it or not, you need more than just scale weight, because if you're eating enough protein, doing resistance training, and improving your body composition, you may be losing fat and holding on to or building muscle at the same time. That won't always show up dramatically on the scales straight away, but it absolutely shows up in photos, measurements, how you fit in your clothes, how your body looks. So even though taking photos at the start can feel uncomfortable, do it. Take the front, side, and back. Take measurements if you can, because later on, that evidence is what stops you quitting too early. And I think if I had to sum all of this up, it would be this. Fat loss gets a lot easier when you stop relying on guesswork, when you actually understand what's going into your body, when you make your meals more filling, when you prioritize protein, when you stop trying to be unrealistically strict, and when you measure progress in a way that actually reflects real change. It's not usually one huge thing ruining someone's progress. It's normally a handful of mistakes that repeated every day end up keeping them stuck for months or years. So, if you're watching this and feeling like you've been trying for ages and not getting the results you want, I'd really encourage you not to take that as a sign that your body is broken or that fat loss just doesn't work for you. Most of the time, it means you need a better strategy, not more punishment. I hope this helped, and if it did, let me know in the comments which one of these mistakes you think has been holding you back the most. And if you want help putting all of this into a personalized plan to transform your body and your lifestyle, for more information on how to work one-to-one with me, click the first link in the description. I'd love to help you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.